Okay, this just happened. OpenAI quietly rolled out something that might be the most significant leap since GPT-4. And no, it's not a smarter chatbot or another multimodal demo. It's a real, working AI agent. One that doesn't just understand what you want, it actually goes out and does it. Welcome to the launch of ChatGPT Agent. It's easy to dismiss this at first. We've seen plenty of AI tools that promise automation, web browsing, plugins, you name it. But this isn't that. This thing operates on an entirely new level. ChatGPT Agent doesn't run on your laptop or your browser. It spins up its own virtual computer, a full-on ephemeral operating system hosted in the cloud. And from there, it can browse websites, click links, run code in a terminal, connect to your Gmail, build financial models, even generate fully editable slide decks. This isn't just task assistance. This is task execution, end to end. Take a look.
If you give someone a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Now we've got the whole toolbox. It can do so many different things, and it's smart enough to actually know which tool to use in the right situation. I'm Nick. I'm an engineer on the Agent team. One of the really exciting things that we've done with Agent now is that you can give it these connectors, your Gmail connector or your Dropbox connector, so it then can understand who you are by learning about your history, what you've done, what you like, and with that information, go out and make better decisions, take better actions on your behalf because it knows you. I want to plan a date night with my fiance, so I'm going to get Agent to do it for me. I have already set up for Agent my Google Calendar connector. When I ask it to book me a reservation, it knows when I'm available. It'll just write a simple task, find me a sushi restaurant in San Francisco, and make a reservation on OpenTable for any night I have available. I've said that my fiance is gluten-free. That is just like a valuable thing for ChatGPT to always know about me. And so I don't want to have to type that in every time. It just knows that that's it. I can just close my laptop and go do something else. It comes up with some sort of high-level plan. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna search for restaurants, I'm gonna check Nick's availability, and then I'm gonna cross-check and make sure that these are good restaurants. To do that, it has to start using the tools that it has at its disposal. So now we've provided it with both visual browser, which it can use to click around and do things that are more visual. It also has the text browser. So if it just needs to ingest a lot of information really quickly with my Google Calendar connector, it can just make an API call and get that information right away. Basically, it got me all the way there. It's found this restaurant, Kusakabe, in San Francisco for next week. It's a great choice. So I'm pretty happy with what it's done so far. Every once in a while, I'm just, taken aback by it a little bit. It does something that I didn't expect, or it's better than I realized, and it's getting better faster than I'm realizing. Yeah, I probably have that moment like once a week at least.
To understand how we got here, we need to rewind a bit. Remember OpenAI's early experiments, like Operator? That was one of their first agentic models that could interact with the web like a human, scrolling, clicking, filling out forms. Then came deep research, the background analyst, quietly visiting dozens of sites and returning full-on expert summaries. What OpenAI has done now is take the best parts of those models and layer them directly into the ChatGPT interface you already use. Only now it has access to a command line, app connectors, browser modes, and a persistent session running on a sandboxed VM. All of that powered by GPT-4 Turbo. So this isn't just evolution, it's synthesis. It's Operator, deep research, and GPT all in one, with the keys to a cloud computer. So let's get real. What does this thing do in practice? Imagine typing this: find 3 top competitors to my product, analyze their pricing models, and build a PowerPoint deck comparing them. Within seconds, it's off. Browsing the web, scraping company sites, pulling pricing tables, and then, yeah, it builds a slide deck. But not a static one. This is a fully editable PTEX file. Native shapes, real charts, vector text boxes. This is business-grade output. Or maybe you're planning dinner. Plan a Japanese breakfast for 4. Find a recipe. Add all the ingredients to my grocery cart. It finds recipes, compiles a list, goes to an online grocery store, adds items to cart, and then prompts you to log in to complete checkout. You still confirm the final steps, but it does the busy work. And yes, it pauses when needed, lets you take over, even asks for clarification if something's ambiguous. This is collaborative automation, not just output on demand, but a true working partner. If you're a ChatGPT Plus subscriber, you may have access already. The rollout includes 400 messages per month in agent mode. Team accounts get 40 messages to start, with the option to purchase more. Enterprise and education users, you're next. EEA and Switzerland users will have to wait a bit longer, likely due to regulatory considerations. And if you're on mobile, you'll get a push notification when the agent finishes your task, so it's running in the background while you're living your life. All of that sounds amazing in theory, right? But how well does it actually perform? Let's look at the numbers, because that's where this agent really shines. On human-evil-style benchmarks, which test reasoning and domain expertise across more than 100 subjects, ChatGPT Agent scored 41.6% on its first pass, using just 1 attempt per task. For reference, GPT-4 Mini typically hovered around 21%. When given 8 attempts and allowed to select the most confident answer, the agent jumped to 44.4%. That's already pushing past most previous models. But here's the part that blew everyone away. On the Frontier Math benchmark, which contains complex novel math problems meant to stump even grad-level experts, ChatGPT Agent scored 27.4% when allowed to use its terminal. And GPT-4 Mini? That model maxed out around 6.3%. That's a more than 4x improvement, driven by real-world tool use. This isn't just academic either. OpenAI ran the agent through real-world simulations, actual business workflows. Tasks like building an amortization schedule, generating a 3-year financial projection, modeling out a competitive analysis for urgent care clinics, and even constructing leverage buyout models. These weren't written by prompt engineers. They came from industry professionals. And OpenAI didn't just compare the agent to other AIs. They brought in humans, consultants, analysts, finance professionals, and had them complete the same tasks. The result? In about 50% of scenarios, ChatGPT Agent either matched or beat the human output. We're talking formatting, citations, spreadsheet tabs, proper formulas, the whole package. This is investment banking level modeling being handled autonomously by an AI running in the cloud. Take a look.
It may be a while for the whole world to evolve to an AI agent-centric worldview, and so I think we should do what we can to meet the world where it's at. My name is John. I work on the deep research and agents teams at OpenAI. One great use case that comes up a lot is you have some kind of budget file, and whenever you do that, it's kind of a pain. It takes maybe 4 to 8 hours, and that's kind of your day. I'm going to show you an example where the agent sources information on the city of San Francisco's annual budget, expenses and revenues for the past 5 years, and it's going to compile that all into one nicely formatted spreadsheet. It goes on by itself. I usually just close my laptop, go grab a coffee, maybe I have lunch. So first it needs to find the data. So it probably does a web search to figure out where it can find this San Francisco city budget information. Once it finds the San Francisco city government website, it will try to access the PDF files. So it has its own file system and everything. Then it needs to extract maybe 200 numbers from each PDF. And finally, it will have one command that will generate the entire spreadsheet all at once. If you go back to the chat, you'll see the final response. And let me just open it now. Yeah, I think it got 98% of the information correct. It also formatted the Excel workbook as I instructed it to. In this case, the revisions were small, so I just made them within Excel because it was just a copy paste. But absolutely, you can make them in ChatGPT. I would say just try it out. If it can do 95% of the actual time-consuming part of the work, that's going to save you a ton of time.
Spreadsheets are notoriously hard for AI, so OpenAI created Spreadsheet Bench, a 912 task evaluation covering cell edits, formulas, pivot tables, and more. In LibreOffice on macOS, ChatGPT Agent hit 35.2% accuracy. But when allowed to directly edit Excel files, it scored 45.5%. For comparison, Microsoft Excel Copilot hovers around 20%. Humans still win this one, with average scores at 71%. But ChatGPT Agent is more than halfway there. And then there's DF Bench, a data science benchmark that covers real-world workflows like modeling, visualization, and hypothesis testing. ChatGPT Agent beat the human baseline. That's major, because that means the agent isn't just mimicking workflows. It's executing them at or above practitioner level. What about information retrieval? Earlier this year, OpenAI published Browse Bench, a benchmark testing how well agents can find obscure, complex, or nuanced information online. ChatGPT Agent scored 68.9%, setting a new record and beating deep research by 17 points. Then came Web Arena, which simulates realistic task flows like submitting forms, navigating product catalogs, and completing account workflows. Again, ChatGPT Agent outperformed all previous models. It's not just that it finds information, it's that it does something useful with it. So, how is this even possible? ChatGPT Agent operates across multiple environments, all within a secure, temporary virtual machine. It toggles between a visual browser, which simulates human web usage, a text-based browser optimized for speed and summarization, a terminal allowing real code execution, file downloads, and more, and connectors which serve as authenticated APIs to apps like Gmail, Calendar, Stripe, and GitHub. This lets it carry out full workflows. It can extract a file from a site, unzip it in terminal, run a script, then open the result in the browser, all without you needing to guide each step. And because it's isolated from your device, it maintains context and continuity without putting your system at risk. Of course, giving an AI this much power raises some serious questions. OpenAI has flagged ChatGPT Agent as high risk under its preparedness framework. It hasn't been used maliciously, but they're designing as if it could be, especially around biology, chemistry, or dual-use research. Here's the safety stack they've built. Real-time classifiers to flag sensitive prompts. Layered filters to detect misuse. No memory. The agent forgets everything once the task ends. Prompt injection defense. It's trained to ignore hidden instructions on malicious web pages. Watch mode. For high-risk actions like emailing or purchasing, you see everything live. Manual login protection. Your credentials stay private. The model never sees what you type. Per-site cookie controls. One-click data wipe and immediate session kills. They've taken every measure they could think of and still admit it's not perfect. Slide creation, for example, is in beta. It works, but formatting can be clunky, and it can't yet edit pre-existing slide decks. But they're training the next version right now, with better formatting and broader layout flexibility. There's another layer to this. If you're a web developer, SEO expert, or run an e-commerce site, this launch changes the game. Because now, your content isn't just being read by humans, it's being navigated and parsed by AI agents. So suddenly, things like semantic headers, properly labeled forms, clean tables, structured pricing, and accessible input fields aren't just good practice. They're required if you want AI to understand and act on your content. You're not just optimizing for users anymore, you're optimizing for agents. This is like SEO in 2005, before most people knew it mattered. And the sites that adapt fastest, they'll win big. So let's zoom out. ChatGPT Agent isn't a vision. It's not a prototype. It's a working, evolving AI system that already beats humans at half the business tasks it's been given. It writes, it codes, it books travel, it builds models, it creates slides, and it does all of that autonomously on its own virtual hardware while you focus on what matters. Whether you're a startup founder, analyst, engineer, or just someone trying to claw back time in your day, this isn't just a new tool, it's a new teammate, and we've only just begun to see what it can do. So yeah, ChatGPT Agent is here. And the way we work online? It's about to change for good. Thanks for watching.